Welcome back for this recap episode of the RADelaide Summit podcast. We do apologise, it's been a hot minute, but in this week's episode we cover the highs and lows of the last few weeks racing, coming to terms with not being the best men, the Aussies in the road worlds, and of course more. Come along for the ride.
Ruby opens up. Hayman is back. It's time to do the business.
Now, we continue to scour the Strava leaderboards, watching your efforts up Norton Summit each week, and then we discuss them here on the podcast, whether you like it or not. Now, there's a chance we might shame you, but we promise not to name you personally. And as always, we will probably shame ourselves otherwise because we're not as fast as you, unless you're me. But I haven't been up there for a while. Now, at the end of the day, our goal is to encourage and celebrate everyone going up Adelaide's best hill climb, Norton Summit, and reaching their end goals. So with that, it's only me, Mr. Wang, and Mr. Alex today. So welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners, to another RADelaide Summit podcast.
Look, as always, we need to know what's been happening, not necessarily around or on the summit, but in the last week, Mr. Wang.
Well, it's been, as you said, it's been a hot minute since we've done a podcast. So
a little bit like sweaty palms, a bit nervous.
Yeah, I've forgotten how to do it. I've forgotten how to talk. So
I normally get to look directly at you across the
No, it's just the two of us. It's a bit cosy. The lights
mood
are dimmed.
lighting.
I was hoping for some dinner and whining, but
Got Barry White
not
playing
the
in
case.
the background.
But yeah, as Alex touched on before, we do apologise that we haven't done a pod for a while. It's just been a hectic September with myself away with racing every weekend this month. We've had Kashi away driving the porcelain bus in Bali. And we've had Alex Crook and looking after his fur kids. So yeah, what's been happening with me this week? Well, yeah, sort of back into the groove of it this week. Back to work after last week off.
What was that? Because you had 10 days off?
6 days off work. Yep. So all of last week and Monday. I was feeling pretty tired on Monday after everything, the week away and the nationals, and I was gonna chuck a sickie on Monday, and I checked my roster and I actually had annual leave on Monday, so
Party.
I must have booked that extra day, knowing that I wasn't going to be that up for work on the Monday. So
do you check the stats at work to make sure that line is level like your Strava average? Attendance.
yeah, pretty much,
feel
to
bad
make sure
about
that
that?
I'm on target for my sales and my bonus. So make sure I can afford that day off. So, but as far as on the bike this week, just back into it. Obviously, we come back from Loxton on Sunday evening. So this week it's just been pretty much Zwift all week. Monday just your normal 3 sessions. Tuesday was the same. Yesterday I actually got out on the road after work just by myself for 40k, and then just more some Zwift today, and then back away again tomorrow for the weekend up in the Copper Coast. So yes, fit for some gravel racing. Can't wait. 1
or 2 bikes?
I'm taking 2 bikes. I'm not riding my soloist on the gravel. So I'm taking my training bike, my Scott Attic for the gravel day, because it doesn't matter if that gets a few chips on it. So certainly not the soloist. Won't be going anywhere near it.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, like Mr. Wang said, I have been sick. I'm still sick. We have no idea what's going on. So I'm on all sorts of drugs. I went to the docs and they sent me to the pharmacist, and my current drugs came with the warning, don't lay down for the first half an hour after taking them, and don't go out in sunlight. So I think I'm literally a vampire.
Yeah. Start sucking my blood soon.
Yeah. But we've spoken on the pod before about how good exercise is for mental health. This is killing me. Not being able to just go out, just go for a roll. Because every time I do, it's 3 days of recovery. So hopefully we get some answers soon and that gets sorted out so I can get back riding. But
no sort of walks around the block?
Not really, no. Nah. So I do like to dabble in little bicycle mechanics stuff here and there just to help out with the teamies and whatever.
Yep.
So I had the real chamois bike here yesterday. You need danger money to work on that thing. Like I was working at heights when I was trying to ride it down the road and bed the
Need your white
I had to do this
card.
super tuck just to get a full pedal stroke. Like I had to sit on the top tube, look like an idiot going up and down the road. So yeah, fixed up his brakes.
And they are the opposite way around as well.
The opposite way around. I had to put a sticker on the bars so I didn't flip the thing down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all good to go. I accept no responsibility if anything goes wrong.
He'll be right. He doesn't need brakes.
No, doesn't need brakes. And then, yeah, basically did the same thing for Miss Piggy's bike. So she's got a set of wheels she doesn't care about dusting up in the Wallaroo/Kadena Airport race.
Yep.
So they're all good to go. And then, yeah, so like some of the listeners may know, I've got a couple of dogs, Hamish and Cooper.
Yep, they're in the background here.
I have shared custody with my ex. We do a month on, month off. And so when they left here, they were fucking fine. Okay. And now Hamish can't see out of one eye and he has a cone on his head after a dual eye operation last Friday.
He did come to greet me at the door when I got here and crashed into the wall. Poor bastard.
Poor bugger. So yeah, that was literally just unfortunately they went to doggy daycare and he was having a bit of a play fight and got scratched on the eye and it's turned into thousands of dollars worth of... I was going to say, it's like half an SL8 tarmac. Exactly. So, Hamish, I hope you get well soon. The hole is dug out the back just in case.
Oh, don't say that. He's asleep in his bed at the moment.
Yeah.
And Keeper's on the couch.
But no, so yeah, the idea of this potty, middle of the week, just to catch up about what's been going on. So we've had a few races.
Lots of races.
You've had a lot of races. My hands are really sore from massaging both front and back.
Yeah. You do have there's a new career path for you as a Swanee because you've done a very good job last week. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
So yeah, let's kick off. We had the Super Series rounds 1 and 2 up at the Bend.
Yep.
It was fucking brutally windy up there, wasn't it? Like people were getting blown off the course.
Literally.
Yeah, literally blown off the course. Like crashes caused by wind.
Yeah. So dog with two dicks got blown off into the gravel. So that potentially cost them the win in the team time trial.
He's a messy bloke, that one. Threw up the other day as well.
Threw up in the Masters Nationals after the finish line.
You know who you are, buddy.
Yeah.
But how did the Keystone boys go in terms of the time trial for the elites? It was fucking gnarly close.
Oh, it was. So that was sort of our first. That was a nice little staycation that we had that weekend as well. So
that's right. Yeah,
myself and Alex and one of the other boys, Benny, we actually booked a room at the Bend up there. Separate rooms, yeah. We all slept in the one, but we paid for 3. So yeah, we went up there on the Saturday Arvo, was that it?
Yeah.
Had dinner up there at the pub and watched the footy, and then
mixed in with the locals.
We did. And then Sunday, so yeah, the TTT. So that's just the one lap of the course. We started with 5 riders. You have to finish with 3. So windy as fuck up there. I've never been up there before where it hasn't been windy, but I think this was the worst I've seen it that I've been up there. But yeah, in the elite TTT, it was so close. So we finished 4th. The winners were Villawood, ahead of Guest Picks, and then the Butterfields number 1 team. We finished 4th. We missed third by 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, so it was 4
and
seconds,
and then second by 1.3 seconds, and it was less than 4 seconds to first. So there was 4 seconds between first and 4th. Every team finished with 3 riders. That was just, unbelievable how close it was. So, I guess we're a little bit disappointed not to be on the podium for that, but we gave it our best crack, that's for sure. So. And then followed up with the road race, which our road race was 11 laps, I think, maybe. Yeah, like 90K, something like that. So now me personally, I've never had a good race at the Bend in the road race. Even when I've won the series before, the Bend's always been my first one. So I went into this race as there was no way I was going to miss the break and I was going to be in the break. Well, the break went in the first half lap of the race for 6 riders, and lo and behold, I missed it. So myself and Sornoff, and one of the young Villawood guys, we rode across to it, so making the break of 9, and then the Villawood guy popped, so break was down to 8. Now these would have been the 8 strongest riders in the race. There was myself, the real Chamoy, Sornoff, Chicken Burger Connoisseur, Dog with 2 Dicks, Mr. Lightweight.
Yeah,
how am I going with these names? They're good. The Beater.
Yep.
I think that was it. So, so basically that break stayed away. And also Frizz. That break stayed away for the whole race. I think at one time we almost had 10 minutes on the bunch, but we were still rolling over at 300 plus watts, which was fucking pissing me off. And
but
then
it wasn't hard to do with the wind.
No.
It was ridiculously windy.
And then myself and Frizz cracked. So we got dropped by the break, but we still held off the main bunch. So I finished 8th there. I think the real Chamoy ended up 5th.
Yeah, so the real Chamoy come bowling over the line, both feet unclipped, like cramped all over. So, but you had some stats after the race. Like, it was so hard. Like, what did your heart do during the race?
I think I hit 204 or something like
200,
that.
and you're what?
Yeah.
You're 72 years old?
Yeah, 73 this year. Yeah, not
so
as
like
old.
It was tough gig out there,
Yeah.
Especially up the front. So
the watts were. I think we averaged 300 for what was 2 hours, 2 and a bit hours. So she was hard going in there. So, but yeah, it was an enjoyable race. How did you guys go in Cat 1?
We had young Jolie up in the break. We
didn't cramp.
Actually, he may have. We'll talk a bit
Poor
more
Jolie.
about Loxton, but we had surprisingly Petit Perineum in the main bunch behind the break, and I'm not sure that he was too happy about that. So the main field was still pushing quite hard.
Petit Perineum. We need to rename it to the Sandbagger.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we didn't get any results, I don't think, in that particular race.
Yep. How's your TTT?
TTT, we finished with 3 across the line. We ended up last with that. That's probably my fault because I could not breathe. What else did we do? The girls, I think Miss Piggy is equal first for the series leader.
Yep.
They had a pretty good run.
Cat 3 girls went well. They
we had
first and
fourth.
First and third, I think, maybe.
Something like that. First and third, yeah.
Yep.
So the
And
rest
they
of
won the
team's doing
TTT.
good. Yep.
Yep.
The rest of the guys doing pretty well.
And I'm not sure how the Cat 2 men, how'd they go?
Yeah, not sure either. I think they were there.
They were competitive.
So yeah, that was the first race that we've been away for, and then you ducked off with Bank Wobby over to Amy's Grand Fondo.
Yeah, we did. So had this one penciled in to do Amy's Grand Fondo over there at Lawn. So myself and Robbie went across on the early on the Saturday morning. Done a bit of a ride when we got there, and then the race/ride was on Sunday. So now that weekend in Melbourne, they had a massive cold snap, snow, hailstorms. On our way there, we were going through the Otway Forest, and there was just massive hailstorms, and I was like, fuck, I'm not racing in this tomorrow.
Which bike did you have?
I had the Cervelo, the Soloist, and I didn't want to get it dirty, but not much I can do about it. So we stayed in Torquay, which is about 40 minutes out of Lawn. And main reason I wanted to do this race was this is sort of the last opportunity to qualify for the Grand Fondo Worlds next year, which are also in Lawn on the same course. So, just need to finish in your top 25% of your age group to qualify, which is obviously fairly achievable.
I thought the Worlds were overseas.
No, they're in Lawn on the same course.
Right.
Yeah.
I was getting ready for overseas trip.
Oh, overseas Swanee trip.
Yeah.
No, we're only going to Lawn.
Okay.
And at the Masters Worlds, there's actually TT, Crit, and the Fondo. So all 3 events. So you just need to qualify for the Fondo, and you can ride all 3. Anyway, we got once again, I felt like I was back at the bend, windy as fuck, coming off of the coast there in Torquay and Lorne, always windy. Did a bit of a roll on Saturday when we got there after we checked into our ACOM. And then not too early a start, 7:30 at start, so not too early. So we're up pretty early, rolled down there, drove down there, done a bit of a warm-up. So it's 120K. It's got about 1,700 vert. The first, basically you start from the finish line, the start line, 1.8K neutral, and then straight into basically a 10K climb.
Ugh.
Probably very similar to Norton Summit.
Just like two of Norton's.
Yeah. And then it sort of goes down and sort of undulates for a while, and you've got one other climb, then it brings you back in near Apollo Bay, back on the Gradation Road, and then the last 40K was along the Gradation Road back into Lorne.
So it's just beautiful, taking all the stuff.
Oh, I was looking at it so much.
Yeah,
I actually wasn't, because it didn't rain, but the roads were still wet from overnight, and obviously in the Otway Forest, no sunlight's getting in there, so it was wet as fuck in there as well. But yeah, once again, awesome day. They had 4,000 plus entries, so fully closed roads.
That's so good.
Come to at the top of the first climb, there was only 4 of us left in my age group. So myself.
Just explain to that, because the listeners, what you told me in the car, same bloke that you always racing against.
Yep, my arch nemesis and good mate, Tommy Leaper. He's just banged it from the start. I wasn't even ready. Without warning. As soon as the motorbikes peeled off after the neutral zone, and I was nowhere near ready. I was like mid-pack, and I was like, oh, Tommy's gone.
Go.
So I think I had to do about 450 for 5 minutes to ride across to him. By that time, there was 4 of us left, myself, Tommy, guy from Sydney, Benny Nepple, who's also a gun, and one of Benny's teammates. We just rolled, and then sort of on the undulating downhill, a few riders caught us, and then we caught other riders, because everyone starts in waves, youngest first and then oldest later. Second climb, once again, there was just the 4 of us again up that climb, and then we sort of backed off and mucked around a little bit, and sort of had a bit of a chat, and rather than rolling turns, we were just riding two abreast talking. Got onto the Gradation Road with 40K to go, and then we started rolling turns into the tailwind. 20K to go, this massive fucking bunch of about 60 caught us that was made up of all different age groups.
Yeah, so no one was doing anything constructive. No. Just shit everywhere, people in your way.
Just fucking carnage. And I'm trying to look at these guys' seat posts for their colours to see if they're in my age group. And I was like, yep, there's one in my age group, there's one. So it ended up being about 12 of us in that group. And then the last...
So then you've got a race again.
all of a sudden I've got a race. So the last 10K was just carnage, because everyone's just trying to get in position for the sprint. And you've got 19-year-olds, you got 60-year-olds all trying to fucking bash bars into each other with different levels of ability. So I was like, I don't care if I'm on the front for the last 10K. I'm just getting out of this fucking shit. So I ended up running second there, which is, I didn't go there to get second. I did go there to win. And Tommy won. Bit of a home ground advantage for him. He's ridden it 12 times and won it 9 times. And the finish sort of creeps up on you a bit, because you don't actually, I didn't know where the finish was, because the finish line wasn't set up when we start. It's not at the same place as the start line. They move it back a bit, and I was on a bit of a sweeping left-hand corner that you can't really see for quite a while. So I started my sprint quite late. Tommy had already jumped and was already 5 bike lengths ahead of me. So second it was. But yeah, qualified obviously for the Worlds. So looking forward to that next year. And I'd love to slip on another rainbow jersey again. So
yeah, Keystone jerseys look good with a rainbow band.
They do, yeah. I just need to I've got some ones coming with the national bands on them, so we just need the rainbow ones. So
no, that's awesome.
So yeah, that was a good weekend.
And then in between that, Sir Dad Cash,
yes,
he
departed
us and took off to Bali.
Yep.
Now,
thought he was 19 again.
He did get the lovely lady in his life did break him a little bit with some alcohol.
I don't reckon he can keep up with that.
No. So he was recovering from that. We did hear and potentially see some on the shower floor footage. But
it was a 13-hour session
13-hour
that they
session,
had at one of the clubs over there. Mr. Potato Head or something like that.
we haven't seen them yet, but we're not sure if there was a wedding involved over in Bali. The photos are still watermarked. You have to pay for them.
Don't even start. Shout out to James.
We did not get asked to be the best men, so it could be just speculation. So,
Not even the ring boy.
and then the poor blokes, they got a bit of karma and ended up with barley belly.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it could have been alcohol inflicted. I don't think they're quite sure. Might have been a mixture.
But Rachel's post, hilarious Instagram. This man can safely fart.
Fart, yeah. So, and then they've gone away again up to Moonta today. So that's why Dad Cash is not here tonight. So
Setters.
they are.
So that was an event for them.
Yep.
And then from there we moved on to the lovely Loxton.
Loxton. So,
The just paradise of views and
Of
more
dead trees.
wind and fucking magpies and flat tires.
fucking punches.
Well, we went up there last Wednesday night.
Yeah, so I got back from Amy's on Monday. Didn't even unpack my bags.
No.
And then we basically went back to
Why you
Loxton
did
on
this
Wednesday.
Smelly Jocks washing. as
Yeah, I
soon
didn't
as we
even
got to
shower.
Renmark.
Straight out. So at least it was only a short drive up there. Didn't even have time for my naps that I normally have in the car. So stayed in Redmark. So nice accommodation up there as well. We book a house.
One of those accommodations where they've tried to implement some technology.
You
Only
as an
if
electrician.
you live in an Asian country could you understand how to work it. And of the four of us, all of us got caught with this automatic door handle a number of times.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got over there Wednesday. We had some food and thought we'll just ride to Loxton and go get Wang's numbers
Yeah,
because I
just
wasn't racing.
For the listeners, Redmark is 40k out of
And
Loxton.
we had the tail and bend wind once again.
Yeah, we did. It was just seemed to have followed us.
We're on
So
the highway of the old Berry course, basically, literally all the way from Renmark to Loxton
Yep.
with a block headwind.
oh,
And I
shit.
couldn't even hold Wang's wheel, and my heart rate was 185 doing 200 watts.
Yeah.
So when we got to Loxton, I was like, you know what? I'm just buying a house here, and I fucking live here now.
We did get our numbers. We did ride back. Got back to the ACOM at, I don't know, maybe
9 o'clock at night.
6 o'clock or something like that. Then not long after I uploaded to Strava, I did get a text message from Deck the Balls
80 fucking Ks
saying
a day before a
82
race.
fucking K before a fucking time trial. What are you doing? Fucking kilometres don't matter this week. You're there to win. And I was like, chill, it's all right. She didn't know I'd done Zwift that morning as well, so I was actually probably 110 for the day.
110
So
for the day. What did we do? We went and went to the Renmark
Renmark Club, yeah.
We had our Keystone jumpers on.
That's
and
right.
We got met by, we're going to call her a young lady, Magnus, or who was about close to 90 with a busted shoulder.
Yeah.
She was very intrigued at the term mammals.
Yes. Actually quite turned her on, I think.
She was.
Yeah. We told her what mammal stood for and she was like, oh.
She looked around for her husband and was like, ooh.
Yeah, she was lovely. She come back and wished us good luck. So yeah, that was on the Wednesday, and then obviously Thursday.
She gave you the good luck charm. I didn't
She did.
think of it.
She did.
What happened Thursday?
Thursday we had the was TT day. So back into to windy Loxton. I didn't. What did we do? I didn't ride the whole way. I only rode part of it.
Berry.
Dropped off in Berry, and then we did our usual traditional motor pace into Loxton. Did our warm up, changed wheels, got all ready, did the bike check. Windy as fuck out there. So massive tail crosswind on the way out. 16k, just 8k out, 8k back in. And then massive head cross on the way back. So there was a few sort of discussions around depth of front wheels. I was just all or nothing. I run with the 80mm reserve on the front. Other guys went down to a 50, and I was like, nah, fuck it, win it or bin it. So. I knew I'd have to have a good ride to beat my arch nemesis, Tommy Leaper, because he's
He's just followed him around the countryside.
just a monster in a TT. So, and yeah, I'll probably put together one of my best TTs that I've ever ridden.
What was it that you said as you came across the line? If anyone beats that, kudos to them.
Yeah, 100%. I looked at my Strava, looked at my watts, and I was like, if anyone beats me, then fuck it, I'm happy if they've just done better numbers.
20-minute power, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did 391 for 20. That's average power, not normalised. So I was towards the end of the TT, I was looking like that I was going to get in there in under 20 minutes. And I was like, fucking hell.
20-minute power.
I won't get a 20-minute power. I was like, I'll have to slow down a bit. So, but yeah, on the hour, averaged, pretty much just paced it well. Averaged 381 watts on the way out with the tailwind. I think the average was like 50, I think it was just under 53k an hour to the turnaround. And then I averaged 401 on the way back. Was only a minute slower on the way back. Averaged
and that's
40.
Not bad considering like I was getting blown around standing still.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Averaged just under 47 on the way back. So yeah, overall it was like 49.1 or something average, 391 watts for 20 minutes and 20 seconds. And managed to beat Tommy by 57 seconds. So, which just blew me away that I put that much time into him. And had the fastest time of the day out of any of the Masters, so that was also quite good. So I was happy with that ride. So that sort of got the week rolling. So.
He was pretty stoked. We motor paced. This was the thing. So we had a presentation which was 4 hours after the event.
Yeah.
So we rolled back into Loxton because the course was 10 k's out of Loxton.
Yeah.
Rolled back in for some lunch. Rolled back to the course for Prezos, and then we were just doing traditional motor pacing home, and we had some officials behind us who weren't too happy about that. We apologised in advance.
Yeah, sorry.
So I had to leave Wang to ride
then
back
I had to ride home by myself. Yeah, and my rides were still getting flagged, even though every upload, even though there was no motor pacing, my rides were still getting flagged by someone. So,
mood was very high that evening. Back to the Renmark Club we went. Couldn't find Magnus to celebrate, but we did that on our own.
Yeah,
and it was a early night, and we were into a rest day the following
We were on the Saturday, yeah. Was actually some nice sleep-ins up there. My whoop sleep was like 95% each night up there. Yeah. So it was some nice sleep-ins. And next day was just the rest day for myself. It was a Saturday. So rode out to the course and watched some of the other masters that were racing on that day. So we had Luke stayed with us up there, so he raced Masters. Was he Masters 1? 2? 1.
Masters 2.
Masters 2?
Yeah. Great as me, yep.
He's Masters 2, so we went out there to watch him, and myself and Freebs from the backside potty. We sort of rode around the road course in reverse to watch the race. Unfortunately, Luke's seat post slipped.
It's dropped down about 70 mil that we worked out in the end.
Yeah, so
he was just hitting his chin with his knees.
Made it a bit hard.
Race.
Yeah, so he pulled out. So after that, he decided, well, I'll ride back to Renmark, and I haven't raced. So me and him set back to Renmark. So in between Loxton and Berry, I've punctured. And I've changed my tube, and Luke's like, oh, shit, I didn't bring my spares with me. Hope we don't puncture again. All right, so we got to Berry and just gone over the bridge into Berry, and Luke's like, oh, shit, I've got a puncture. And I was like, oh, no. So I left him there. He was going to wait for you, Alex, to come get him.
We were watching the end of the race, and I didn't see that I had all these missed calls from you guys. Yeah. And then by the time we left, Luke had made it home.
He made it home. He just he limped it home, and it still stayed up. So that was a quiet day for us, just spectating punnies, magpies, bees. I got so many bees stuck in my helmet. One day I got done by a bee, so I took my helmet off to get the bee out. Just at the time I took my helmet off, a magpie swooped me. So I swear they were working in tandem.
Working in tandem.
to get us. So.
But that was literally just like the onslaught / start of punches from then.
Yeah.
Because Luke Luke basically ended up giving up the rest of the weekend because
Did he wake up with another puncher?
yeah. And then we went out. He got a flat, and then he pinched that tube.
That's right.
And then by morning it was flat again. So he's like, you know what, I'm just going home.
We actually run out of tubes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we got no more punches.
Yeah.
I punch it every day except for the days that during my races.
And Renmark, if there's any Renmark people listening,
Set
to
up
this,
a bike shop.
There's not a bike shop in Renmark. Nothing at all. Even the locals laughed at me when I was like, "Where do you get tubes?" And they were like,
Wakery,
77
77k
kilometres away.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So that was
Moving
not
on.
good. Yeah, so that was Friday. So Saturday was my road race. What time did that start? Was it a late start? 2 o'clock-ish?
Something like that.
Yeah. So
Before we move on to the road race, though, Big Kev,
Big
Master
Kev Phillips.
15 rider.
Master's 13.
Master's 13? Sorry.
Yeah, 91 years of age.
91 years old.
Yeah, shout out.
He did the time trial course on his own in that win.
16K,
16 Ks.
56 minutes.
Gold medal.
Oh, mate. God, they don't even have a class for Masters 13. It only goes up to Masters 10 because they assume that everyone's going to stop riding then. So they actually had to create his own class. He got a jersey. Unfortunately, they didn't give him a medal, so hopefully they've got one coming for him.
Hopefully.
But
so yeah,
he needed some help to get on the podium, though, didn't
need
he?
some help. He also did the road course.
Yeah, one lap.
One lap.
Yep.
I think his biggest competition, as I heard him come across the line, was the
Magpie.
Magpies because he was getting obliterated all the way up the finishing straight.
There was that one with like 500 metres to go, and it was just belting people
You were
all
in
by
a bunch.
themselves.
Yeah, you were getting hammered by this Magpie.
And he actually didn't do a bad average speed. I think his average speed was like 26k an hour on the road race course. So he must have gone real easy.
Massive kudos to
Yeah,
Kev.
what a legend. Local Norwood guy as well. So Phillips is a fairly famous name in South Australian cycling. Yeah. So, shout out to Big Kev. So,
yeah, and then, your road race.
Yeah, road race. So this course was started in Loxton, headed out towards where the TT started, took a bit of a left and some winds and down a long straight. And then we started some laps out around the back of Loxton that went through like some orchards, past the quarry, past the golf course, past the abattoirs. So all the major tourist sites in Loxton there. So 5 laps. So in total, it was just under a 70k race. Once again, the wind was out in force, and
the commissaires were also out in force. If you crossed that line with the wind, it was game on.
Instant disqualification. In under 17 race the previous day, there was 13 guys that were disqualified, including the guy who comes second. So they were hot on that, even to the point where they wouldn't even let us ride on the line in the crosswinds.
Inside information about the Wang using it as a race tactic.
Yeah, well, it is a race tactic, so we did get warned not to use it. So me being the law-abiding citizen that I am, I did move across to the left a little bit. So, but yeah, so with that course there, obviously it was a square or rectangle, so you cop the wind in each direction, taily, cross, head, taily. So the race sort of split up fairly early with the 4 main contenders. So myself, Leaper,
again,
of course, Van Hout, and then a couple of guys from Canberra on that one. So we got away early. I attacked on the first lap up the climb into the headwind, and I was like, "Fuck it, we need to get rid of some of these people." And I think that got down to 8 of us, maybe.
Yeah,
so the 5 I just mentioned. Wardy, Nick Underwood, and there might have been maybe one other rider in there.
We just on Nick Underwood, we were getting some information from his lovely wife.
Yeah.
And Nick had jumped off the front at one point.
Yeah,
and
in the
she's like,
tailwind.
Come on, Nick. Why?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what? Okay, why Nick? But that's okay.
Did Nick finish with your bunch?
No. But you just do you. That's okay. And always did it into the tailwind, so at least he's smart.
Yeah.
So then, we're away for maybe a lap or so. And then no one wanted to roll, so the rest of the group actually caught us into the tailwind. And that made me quite angry. And I was like, nah, this is not fucking happening. So this is when I've jammed it on the line into the crosswind. And then up that hill again into the headwind. Tommy's just put in this fucking massive...
He's a beast, isn't he? Like, he's got massive power.
watts on tap. He's like got the biggest calves you've seen. He actually has to run aero bottles on his bike because his calves hit normal cages. He's a former pro. He rode the Giro in 2004. He's a gun. And he put in this massive attack up the climb on that lap. Russ Van Hout was on his wheel. I just rolled over from doing a turn, so I was a bit gassed. And he's just put it in at the perfect time. I was like, holy shit. And I had to dig so deep to get onto Russ's wheel. Didn't really get onto it until probably a little bit on the downhill into the crosswind side of it. So it was the three of us. And then one of the Canberra guys actually rode across to us, and I was like, Jesus, he's going all right. Fucking hell.
That was that.
But that was him done.
Yeah.
We looked around in about another K and he'd gone. So, yeah, just the three of us. We rolled turns for the rest of the race. And then the cat and mouse started to start. So the two Canberra guys, they were about 30 seconds behind us. And then the main bunch, I think, was 2.5 to 3 minutes behind us. Yeah, so the cat and mouse started with like 2K to go.
Yeah, we saw you
K to go. And I was just
straight.
and I was like, guys, fucking, we are going to get caught by the fourth and fifth guy. We need to keep fucking rolling.
And then where did you end up, unfortunately?
On the front.
Yeah.
We literally come to a track. I had to do a skid to try and get the guys to come around me. Didn't work. And so we basically, with a K to go, which is the finishing straight into the block headwind.
You guys, and I was like, I zoomed my camera right, and it's like, Wang's on the front.
Yeah, and we were doing track stands basically, and then I was just said to him, I was like, "Fuck, we are going to get caught by these guys," and they were coming in hot. And I was just like, no, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself. I finished 6th last year in the road race, so anything's going to be an improvement. And I just led the sprint out.
You didn't want 4th or 5th. You were like, I'm getting on.
I'm at least going to get a medal on this one. So, yeah, led the sprint out. Needless to say, you're not going to win leading the sprint out.
Probably 300 metres out. You went.
Yeah, 250 to 300, which with a tailwind you could probably hold them off. But yeah, Russ was in third wheel.
The size of a tree. And then Russ sneakily sitting in there.
Yeah, Russ was in the perfect position, so he jumped it. He won by about 2 or 3 lengths over Leaper, and Leaper had a couple of lengths on me. So bronze it was for me in the road race, which is not what I went there for, but better than last year.
That's good. And then we moved on to the following day. We had the crit race.
What a circuit.
It was fucking epic to watch. All grades were just destroyed in the first lap every time. But then there was people dropped in the first lap that fucking won.
Yeah.
Because you just had to hang on.
Had to hang on. Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember watching your race, the bunch go around the corner, and then lap 1, it's you, Leaper, and Van Hout.
Again.
It was on already, game on. And,
it was fucked.
And from where I was standing at the pub, which was great, Leaper was not wanting a bar of any of you two initial stages of the race. He was fucking tearing
the early start of the race. He was just ripping it every time up that climb. It was 30 seconds, a 35 second climb, and it was 600, 700 watts every time.
Yeah. You could normally when you see that's a fast race, you could see how much effort he was putting in. He was not happy that you guys were still there.
No, he did his best. And then so it just ended up being the three of us by quite a long shot. Once again, we were stuffing around as well. But this one played out a lot better for me. Russ was suffering, hurting a lot from Leaper's attacks. I put in a couple of digs as well. Russ just went all in with 2 laps to go, and was a massive attack. I didn't chase. I made Leaper chase. Got across to him. 1 lap to go, and there was no way in hell I was going to the front there to lead that sprint out again. So I had the perfect wheel.
Yeah, so the position we had at the pub was the middle of the climb. You had to come off.
Yeah, probably about 300 to go.
The first bit. And we saw Russ go past with a pretty, maybe 10 metres on you guys, maybe a bit more. And we're like, oh, chill out, let's go fucking hell. Like, then they come around again and Leaper's off the front.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Matt's got to work.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And everyone was starting to like, and then last lap, like I won't tell them what happened, but take us through that last lap because it was fucking insane.
Yeah, so that last lap I had perfect positioning, third wheel, sort of laid off that sort of last right-hand corner on the back straight before you start the climb. And then, I just had all the momentum up that last climb and ended up just ripping the sprint. Russ and Leaper were absolutely fucked. I don't think they even sprinted. They might have sprinted for about 3 pedal revolutions.
Because we run up to the finish line at that point and saw you go, and you put 6 seconds?
6 seconds, yeah.
10 seconds into Leaper
in 200 metres.
Yeah.
Had enough time to post up. That one sort of meant quite a bit on that one.
That was good. I think that outdid your sprint last year's career.
Yeah, so defended the title, defended my TT title, and got a medal on the road race. So overall was a good weekend. So
then we got home at like fucking 8 o'clock that night.
We did, and haven't unpacked my bag yet because we're going away again tomorrow. Well, I'm going away again tomorrow.
Just on that though, you got home that night. How many Ks had you done for the week?
I had done 688?
Yeah, so you needed 12.
So I got onto Zwift to do 12 to bring up the 700. I told everyone I was going to. I was just going to do a 12K warm down after the crit, but I was fucking cooked after I finished and then went down to the pub for a Coke. And then that was it. I wasn't getting back on the bike. So
that's awesome because moving on from after that race, we had the Masters 3 guys. And within that race, we had one of the backside potty hosts.
Yep. Andrew Freebie. Yep. Former Adelaide boy.
He was on a mission. Like, it was him and his co-host Jim Bob watching from the pub who was fucking tanked.
He was 13
was so
ginger
good.
beers deep.
And he'd got himself a medal earlier in the day as well, so don't let that go.
And in the road race.
Yep. So watching those guys, just as impressive as you, Leaper and Van Hout. Freebie ended up rolling away solo for an awesome win, so massive kudos to them. We actually got the invite from those guys. We did a guest potty appearance with them on the Saturday night.
Yep.
So that is live, guys, if you want to listen to the backside potty. And we discussed a few things about the up-and-coming TDU. So, listeners, hopefully we see you all. We're going to get together for the 2025 Santos Tour Down Under.
Yep.
It's going to be amazing times.
Do some sort of collab with those guys because they're a great,
they
bunch
want
of
us
guys
to get
and girls.
together and have a bit of a shindig somewhere so we get all the listeners involved as well.
Yeah.
So, a couple of notable mentions.
Yes, so that's a big September. So that's why I haven't been around the place, guys. So, notable mentions to one of our podcast guests and favourites, Trainer Chode.
This was a prime example of don't give up, isn't it? Like, honestly.
I know. So he rode the perfect race and he looked fucked after lap 1. He probably hadn't had the best sort of start to the Nationals. He did run, what did he get in a TT? Third,
yeah.
Yeah, so he ran third in a TT, missed out on a medal in the road race, so the crit was the one that he wanted. Ideally, probably not suited to someone of his build. He won't mind me saying that with the hill in it. But he just rode the perfect race and just hung in there.
So for the listeners, they started Masters 1 and 2 together. He was in Masters 1 and one of his riders in his group got tacked on to Masters 2 and they were away.
They were away by a long shot,
way.
like
so
half
we
a lap.
thought that the gold medal was home and hosed with the Masters 1 rider.
Yep.
He popped.
He fucking
and so
popped.
did the second and third and fourth wheels, and they changed around so many times and ended up coming down to a bunch of 3.
The guy who was up there in the break didn't even end up medaling.
Gone.
I don't think he even finished.
He got dropped out of that front brake, dropped out of the Trainer Chode move, and just gone.
Yeah.
He hung in there and he had the legs for a sprint.
3 up sprint. He had enough watts up there and all the messages start to flow up after that. It was like, I thought there was a hill in the crit. How did Trainer Chode win? It was a great ride by him, for sure. So, and then obviously we've had the Road Worlds on. this week and last weekend. So massive
New female world champ.
Yeah, massive shout out to Grace Brown. So first person to do the Olympic and world double
In the same year.
in the same year.
Right.
Obviously, you can only do that every 4 years. But first person. Obviously, Remco done it the next day, but Grace did it first. So
That's an awesome way to go out, though.
massive ride for her. So she actually hasn't finished yet. She'll ride the road race. But she was actually, I think, 6 seconds down at the last time check on Demi Vollering, and then just massive negative split and brought it home. Then we had good old Crash Vine,
I heard he went
who
down.
once again crashed in the TT. Was in third place when he crashed, ended up on fifth. So maybe some bike handling courses for Jay. And then overnight we actually had the mixed relay. We don't see much of this event or at all.
Yeah.
But basically 3 guys, 3 girls. We had Grace, Ruby, who else? We had Brody, Bling, Jay, and who was the other one?
Number 6, we'll call him.
Shit, I can't remember. Oh, Ben O'Connor.
Yep.
And yeah, the men go first, and then the women go after that. Each team has to finish with 2. So they'll start with 3 men, they need to finish with 2,
together?
and then they add the times together.
Yeah, right.
So the Aussies won that. So Grace Brown, another gold medal, dual world champion. But they won by 0.6 of a second from the Germans.
Oh, wow.
And then Italy were third. We're only like a couple of seconds behind that. So
Ben TT.
yeah, massive. Very, very close. So, and then over the weekend, there'll be the road race. So see how we go there. Maybe Grace can do the triple.
That'll be fucking amazing.
So that's about all happening around. Notable mentions from the summit this week.
Sweet. All right. Well, we've done it a little bit differently this week because it's a midweek pod. We're just going to give you the fastest men and women up to the date. So let's see who's been spinning up the summit this week and check out the times for the folks who've been giving us a show. It's going to be some fast ones only. And we will dive into their data a little bit more robustly and see who's on the leaderboard. So Wang, fastest man of the week.
All right, so far this week, this will make him happy. So we have Mr. Consistent.
Now, did we not see him put on some race numbers?
He did.
He always said, he's like, no, I don't need to do
he
that.
was at the bend because he said g'day to me. So, so I'm not sure if we'll be racing this weekend at Minter and Wallaroo. But, yeah, Mr. Consistent has run a time of 13:44 with a PB at 12:34. Once again, massive watts,
You know what?
443.
I think we should try and create an algorithm that uses a bit of wind and his watts, and we can work out when he's having a fat day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
like they are big watts.
He's got no heart rate, so I'd be interested to know what his heart rate is. Average speed of 24, so massive kudos to him.
So I'll take us to the top women before
Fastest
you
woman?
go through the
Yep.
fastest woman. Now, she's been on the pod before, but look at her time.
Yeah, this is a PB.
14:21 for Flora the Explorer.
She's just popped up on a
I
few
know, on the
Strava
radar,
segments on the
so
last few weeks.
Almost averaged 299 watts.
Yeah, that's massive.
Like,
She can crack that
is
300, Flora.
Amazing. And so since the last time we had her in a pod, she's almost taken 5 minutes off her PB. So we've probably
Fucking
missed
hell.
a few along the way.
What
But,
is going on? Do we need to get wider in?
so kudos to her.
Yeah, so PB. So if you do want to change your name, slide into the DMs.
So tell us the top 5 men. For
So then this was must have been on the same night. So yeah, it looks like when Mr. Consistent has done his time, that's on the BE chop, I reckon.
Yeah, the BE chop.
Because the next 2 names are both both work at BE. So we have Frogface. Now, this is probably a PB as well because we had his original PB at 18:04 and he's rolled out a 14-minute flat. So PB for this kid.
Maybe some discrepancies because I threw the spreadsheet together rather quickly this afternoon.
Yeah, I reckon knowing this kid, that would certainly be his PB.
Yep.
Almost in the 30-minute bracket, mate. Maybe if you'd gone that a little bit harder, you would have got there. So 337 watts average. He's certainly pumping out the heart rate, 180 at a 23.6 k/h average. Next, we have also on the BE Chop, Blood and Crips. This may also be a PB or an equal PB. We're not sure.
Yeah.
He's run a 1420. Average watts of 321, also working at 175 beats a minute. Then we have Mitosis, very close to a PB. 1448 is PB. He's rolled out a 1459 at 333 watts, all the threes. And then we have Sawn Off just cruising in at a 1506, 311 watts, 157 beats a minute. This was today, was it?
No, a couple of days ago. 2 days ago.
And then we have the Turkey Slapper. Same deal, just rolling in at a nice 1507, and he's got a PB of
11:59. What a number. I am an 11-minute Norton. Yeah.
Rolling out 344 watts on that one, so he must be weighing a bit more than
I was about to say, a little bit heavier. Yeah.
So he must have had a good winter. So, so that's the men so far for this week.
Top women for this week. Starting off, we've got Ginger Ninja has done a 21:27, a little bit off of her 20:06 PB.
Yep.
Second place, Ding and Dong, 21:36. She's just gone out for an easy roll, 159 beats per minute, 204 watts. Gloss and Grain on the podcast a little while ago.
Yes.
22:11.
Good to hear.
166 beats per minute. Wahooligan. Barely breathing, 132 beats per minute, 175 watts. She's done a 22,
just
23.
a Z1.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then lastly, aggressively undercooked. She's going to be camping out with you guys this weekend.
She will be. Housemate this weekend.
178 watts, 167 beats per minute.
Very
nice
good.
work, ladies. So for the rest of the week, do we have an optimal day to zoom up Norton?
Let's have a look here. So Wang's weather brought to you by
We brought
Bikey
back
Wipes.
some sunshine from Renmark. I actually got sunburnt in Renmark on the first day.
Lots of flies up there as well, as usual. So, but yeah, it looks like we brought back some of that summer weather because it was raining here the whole time we were away. So as far as optimal conditions for the rest of the week on Norton, let's have a look. So... yeah, probably will be. It looks like it's going to be a bit wet over here over the weekend. But, either Saturday or Sunday, if you want to brave the rain and you're not away in Moonta.
So if you're not racing Super
with
Series.
us, there'll be some northwesterlies on Saturday and some southwesters on Sunday. So pop out there if the weather is good. If your bike does get dirty, don't forget Bikey Wipes, Wang 10. I did need to have to use them after Amy's. Straight to the car wash after I finished Amy's, and then got the Bikey Wipes out and gave it a clean down, as good as new.
Nice work. So up and coming in the weeks ahead, we've got the Adelaide Masters Cycling Club Frank Spears Memorial Handicap Outer Harbour. That's this weekend. Next week,
good to put it on at the same time as the Super Series round.
Look at that calendar, shall we, people?
Yeah.
Oz Cycling next Tuesday and Wednesday nights. They've got the Sprint and Paris Sprint, and also the Advanced Junior Track Training at the Superdrome.
Yeah.
As Wang mentioned, Oz Cycling are running the Super Series this Saturday and Sunday. That's the Copper Coast, Moonta and Kadena races.
Yep.
And then on Thursday next week, 3rd of October, PACC hold their motor pace track and road at Hanson Reserve.
It's good. I actually went to one of those sessions a few weeks ago. It's good.
Yep.
So great session out there. So get out there and get the numbers up. It's only $5 for the session. It's a 2-hour motor pace session. They break it up into two sessions, and road bike or track bike. So get out there. Okay, so ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and all creatures in between, if your listeners have enjoyed yourself, why don't you give us a follow through your favourite podcast app or access our episodes through YouTube as well. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon, ding, and don't forget to tell all your friends and share it with everyone.
Yep, like we said, we are all over the socials. We give you updates, info, and let you know when new episodes are out, along with other podcast news and info. And if you want to support the podcast, head to our Buy Me a Coffee page, and if you donate, you'll get a shout out on the podcast the following week.
And would love your feedback and to know your thoughts. So hit us up. Let's have a chat through our Facebook, Instagram page, or shoot something through to our email, RADelaide@gmail.com.
And with that, you know what, listeners? I hope I see you out on the summit soon because I need to take this sickness. It's a pleasure. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.